Now, our next speaker in today's Visionary Voices, as part of this Embody and Engage, is the amazing Professor Azza Karam. So let me tell you a little bit about Azza. Professor Azza Karam, PhD, is a member of the United Nations Secretary General's High-Level Advisory Board on Effective Multilateralism. She's a former Secretary General of Religions for Peace. She holds a professorship of religion and development at the Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam and is currently a member of the United Nations Secretary General's High-Level Advisory Board on Effective Multilateralism, served for nearly 2 decades in the United Nations UNDP and UNFPA, including as coordinator of the Arab Human Development Reports, senior advisor on culture, and lead facilitator trainer for the UN Strategic Learning Exchanges on Religion, Development, and Diplomacy. Wow. During her time in the United Nations, Azza founded and was convener of the United Nations Interagency Task Force on Religion and Development. That's some big jobs to be having. Azza, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us in this symposium as we reflect on Awakening to Humanity's Sacred Mission, inspired by Ervin Laszlo, who's here with us today, but also just really delighted and inspired and grateful to have you with us, Azza.
Thank you so much, Ben, and thank you to you and Unity Earth and all the co-sponsors for putting together this awesome series of, frankly, not just talks, but wisdoms that we all share together. And thank you for the opportunity and the great privilege of joining you here. As a great fan of Ervin Laszlo and his way of thinking, I am also now incredibly touched to be in the company of such amazing human beings. I would think that if just wanted to say thank you so much for the privilege of being here with you today. If every single person whom we've heard speaking and will hear speaking was making decisions at the governmental, intergovernmental, and non-governmental spaces, actually making the decisions, I think our world would be a far better place than it currently is. So I think the question that we need to, in a sense, tackle or think about is, how do we get the visionaries to be the key decision makers? What is it that we need to do to ensure that this wisdom that is so much here, that is so present, that is so powerful, is also a decision-making capability, capacity, opportunity, etc. And we can try to lament what we see happening with our governments and our multilateral institutions like the United Nations, the European Union, etc. Or we can try to see how we can work better together in our respective spaces. And I'm a great student of Dr. Jude Currivan and some of this, how we can actually work together from our different spaces to become the conscience, the collective conscience of the institutions that are currently making decisions on behalf of humanity, and which have brought us to really challenging times. I'm finding it extremely difficult to think only of the positive, only of the good, when I am very much aware of what's going on in Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Haiti. These are all fellow humans who are suffering greatly, and in 99.99% of the time suffering at the hands of each other, of one another. It's not natural disasters. And by the way, there's no such thing as natural disasters, because we've caused our natural disasters with our nuclear testing, with the way that we have completely abused the environment, etc., etc. We've actually caused so much of the natural disasters that we then worry about. I think the challenge is to think how we can move together. And what that seems to require, and please forgive me if you think I'm totally out of my mind here, but it does require a very determined sense and degree and commitment to selflessness. It is wonderful to speak about selflessness. It is even more imperative to actually act it out. So often we are thinking of our own interest for our family, for our education, for our community, for our whatever. But we're thinking interest-based when we need to be thinking of what's more helpful to the rest of the world. And we don't act on the basis of what's more helpful for everyone. We seem to act more on the basis of what's more helpful for me, my family, my social community, etc. That needs for us to move from the personal interest to the collective interest, which, by the way, is also personal. It's everybody's interest. So therefore, it actually affects everybody. For us to be able to do that, I think we need to give up a little bit. We need to give up not only the ego, but we need to give up the sense of certainty that what we know is absolutely right, even when we have the data, the facts, the commitment, everything. How do we give in to greater good? Which, by the way, to me as a Muslim, is precisely what Islam is all about. It is about giving in to the greater wisdom. And that does require acknowledging one's own limitations, but one's own powerfulness through powerlessness. Yes, it isn't about holding on to the power. It is about submitting to the greater will of the greater good. And this is what I've been trying to serve in so many different spaces in my life. Invariably, I get told something along the lines of either I am an over-idealist, either I'm stupid, I'm foolish, I don't seem to quite understand the world, people are waiting to see when the other shoe will fall, all sorts of I'm a nun, which apparently is a bad thing for some reason. I've been told so many things that have been extremely inspiring for me. Why? Because they have been indicators of how others see our own self-imposed limitations. Yes, we can do everything, absolutely, but we do everything not for our good only. We do everything when we understand that what one of the many lessons COVID was supposed to teach us, that no one is safe until everyone is safe. If our own environmental degradation has not proven that to us, if public health crises don't prove that to us, if wars don't prove that to us, I'm not quite sure what will prove to us. So perhaps what we need to do is take that major leap of faith together. Just understand that it isn't about whether I'm okay, but it is about whether really each one of you, are you okay? And how can I serve to make you feel okay?
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful.
We can just very touching to hear your reflections today from, that powerful wisdom that's been into the corridors and the halls of, so-called institutional power on this planet, and yet coming back to that very simple, like Chief Perry, kindness, and just being there to care for each other, that is at the heart of everything, is at the heart of all we are doing. Azza, thank you for being with us today. I know you're traveling and you're running to catch a bus to Heathrow Airport. We're really deeply grateful that you were able to join us. And we got through some of those technical challenges, and the spirit of everything you were sharing and conveying has touched our hearts and touched the field here of this symposium. I could see Ervin there listening to you as well from his library studio. So thank you so much, Azza Karam. Thank you for being with us. Blessings on your journey forward. And we look forward to seeing you more and more. I love that. Imagine if, the wisdom of these visionary voices was the consciousness that was being, looked upon to make the key decisions on the planet. And I think that was a powerful way to begin. And then coming back to the very personal groundedness. What can we do to take care of ourselves and each other? Thank you, Azza. Thank you for that wisdom.